Paramount's hit Western Yellowstone was originally planned to be just one season. That was back in 2018. But as we know, Sheridan didn't stick to the original plan. He created 5 seasons of the parent series, running until December 2024, before finally putting Yellowstone to rest. Or did he? The series came to a screeching halt in 2024 after series lead Kevin Costner announced he would not be returning for the finale. Reportedly, this sent Sheridan and his team into overdrive as they scrambled to come up with an appropriate ending for the Western. Rumor had it that Sheridan still had 2 more seasons up his sleeve when the series aired its finale. Maybe that's why fans couldn't accept that Yellowstone had ended. For one, it meant saying goodbye to one of the best television series they'd seen in a long, long time. For another, it felt rushed, maybe because it was. Now, fans all over the world are calling on Sheridan and Paramount to release the final 2 seasons they had originally planned, to give fans some closure. And you know what? They just might be in luck. Reportedly, a 6th and actual finale is in the works. Well, sort of. Here's everything we know about it. Season 5 was not the end. 5 seasons and 53 episodes later, Yellowstone came to an end in December 2024. The finale was marred by controversy for more than a few reasons. Kevin Costner had left the set after reported creative differences with Sheridan. Paramount had refused to increase his salary, and a 2-year delay had left fans frustrated. There were more than a few problems on set, but Sheridan was determined to put everything behind him and give fans the best series finale in television history. Ian Bohen, star of the epic Western, once commented that the finale would be the best in television history. That was a pretty tall order, especially coming from an actor on the show, but Bohen was confident. He claimed he had been told about the series finale before scheduling and still had goosebumps. If anyone could pull it off, Sheridan could. Likewise, Kelly Riley, who plays Beth, claimed that despite Kevin Costner's sudden exit, the finale remained untampered. She reassured fans who were worried that Costner's departure would accelerate the show's events and lead to Sheridan simply killing off the lead character. While Kelly didn't reveal much about John Dutton's fate, she assured fans that Sheridan was not willing to compromise his masterpiece over a petty feud. She shared that Sheridan had discussed the show's ending with her as early as 2018 during Season 1, and that he had already planned how the story would conclude. Elsewhere, Christina Voros, who served as a director for the final season, claimed that while John Dutton would be missed, there was no way the series would give him a lazy ending. This came after fans rallied behind Costner, urging Sheridan to let him come back on set to film the finale. Reportedly, Costner had wrapped up filming for his Western Horizon and had asked Sheridan if it was possible for him to return and give John Dutton the send-off he deserved. However, Sheridan, who had already worked on the final season script and shot some scenes, reportedly told Costner to take a hike. When fans accused Sheridan of letting a petty squabble interfere with a great series, Christina came to his defense. She assured fans that there was a planned ending for John Dutton. She reminded everyone that Sheridan, more than anyone, understood just how central the patriarch was to the show, and that the last thing he would ever do was give him a lazy ending. This seemed to appease fans for a while, until the second half of Season 5 finally dropped. It took longer than usual for the finale to be released, partly due to Costner's exit, and partly because of the Hollywood writers' strike. In any case, December 2024 marked the end of Yellowstone. Or did it? While fans waited with bated breath for the finale, they were left feeling disappointed with the way Sheridan tied up loose ends, or rather, failed to tie them up. A lot of questions were left unanswered, and despite all the assurances given before the finale's release, it seemed like Sheridan did exactly what everyone feared he would do with John Dutton's character. He killed him off. Season 5 wasn't a complete failure, though. As far as series finales go, Yellowstone did a pretty good job, although it met the same fate as several finales where fans wished the series creator had done something more ambitious. To start off, the finale focused heavily on the Dutton kids, perhaps because the patriarch was killed somewhere along the way. This set the stage for Beth and Jamie's burning feud, and for Case to move away from the ranch in favor of the tribe. The series did a good job tying up at least one loose end: the fate of the Yellowstone Ranch. Toward the finale, we see Case transfer ownership of the family ranch to Thomas Rainwater, handing it back to the... Many Yellowstone fans on Reddit noted that this ending was foreshadowed in 1883, when the tribe vowed that, in about 100 years, the ranch would return to the Native American people. That might have been the end for the family ranch, but it certainly wasn't the end for the Dutton kids, who moved on to follow their own journeys after the finale, with Beth and Rip heading to Texas for a joint venture. As far as finales go, this wasn't the worst we've ever seen. But was it the best? That's debatable. One reason fans are having a hard time accepting that this is truly the end of Yellowstone is that the finale felt rushed and almost forced, as if the Duttons would go down without a fight that easily. This prompted several fans to ask Sheridan via social media if he had any plans for a 6th season. To be fair, neither Sheridan nor Paramount has confirmed a potential 6th season, but they haven't denied the possibility either. Once again, it was Kelly Riley to Sheridan's rescue. On Instagram, Kelly reassured anxious fans that Sheridan had confirmed this isn't the end. Likewise, trusted ranch hand Lloyd, played by Forey J. Smith, confirmed that Sheridan still has many more stories to tell. Now, to be fair, there's a chance that both stars were referring to the many spin-offs that are still in the works. But in the Sheridan verse, you should never say never. Right now, however, it seems Sheridan is purposefully not talking about a 6th season because he has other projects to focus on. Notably, the new series he has planned for a 2025 release, The Madison. Set in the Madison Valley, the show follows Michelle Pfeiffer's character as she navigates Southern life after the tragic passing of her husband. She relocates her family from New York to the Madison Valley, and that's where the story picks up. The ensemble cast also includes Suits star Patrick J. Adams. After Tulsa King, The Madison is believed to be one of the few Sheridan spin-offs that has nothing to do with Yellowstone. But wait, does that mean there won't be a 6th season after all? Again, never say never. It's been reported that stars Kelly Riley, Cole Hauser, and Luke Grimes have all renewed their contracts with major bonuses in anticipation of a potential 6th season. Of course, this possible 6th season would not include 2 of Yellowstone's central characters, Jamie and John Dutton, but that much was already expected. Was Season 5 a red herring? Maybe. The question on everyone's mind now is why Season 5 was even announced as the final season in the first place. In hindsight, Sheridan must have known that the second half of the proposed final season wasn't actually doing much to end the show properly. Previously, Sheridan had promised that Yellowstone would get the ending it deserved. News broke in May 2023 that the series was coming to an end, just a few months after the first half of Season 5 aired and after Kevin Costner confirmed his exit from the series. Without the family patriarch leading the show, it didn't make much sense to continue. Season 5 wasn't a red herring. It was just the best of a bad situation. Costner was the face of the neo-Western drama, and everyone knew the show wouldn't make sense without its lead character. Sheridan knew that, and so did Paramount. That's why, despite the future of Yellowstone being up in the air, Sheridan realized he had to end it, and he had to do it quickly. It might have been the best-case scenario in his mind, but for fans, a better ending would have been one that truly felt like it was putting one of the best shows in television history to rest. The future of Yellowstone is even more confusing when you consider the events of Season 5, Part 2. While the premiere began with a bang, the following episodes contained little to no development concerning the season's story, the show's overarching plot, or character arcs. Sarah's death in Season 5, Episode 11, seemed like it could be the catalyst for the final episodes. Instead, nothing much happened, aside from Colby's unnecessary death. The penultimate episode was boring and did little to advance the story, meaning the finale had a lot of work to do to wrap up countless loose threads. Season 5 was supposed to conclude many storylines, yet fans felt Sheridan took the easy way out. By that, we mean that any character he felt wasn't contributing much to the overall story was simply removed. The series creator simply killed them off. This has been the theme for series creators since the beginning of television, and fans hoped that Sheridan would follow a different path. They were wrong. For example, once the director realized that Sarah Atwood's role in Jamie's storyline was over, he simply killed her off. Fans believed there were better ways to write Sarah out, and burying her 6 feet under wasn't the smartest choice. The good news is that Yellowstone, or at least its story, won't end after the Season 5 finale. According to Deadline, a spin-off starring Kelly Riley as Beth Dutton and Cole Hauser as Rip Wheeler is in the works at Paramount. The two actors have been negotiating deals to return as their fan-favorite Yellowstone characters in either a sequel series or a 6th season. Sheridan and Paramount have seemingly agreed on bringing Beth and Rip back for a spin-off, which will include Yellowstone in its title. Everything for Season 6 is prepped, though no release date has been announced, and the storyline remains a mystery. Fans of the Yellowstone universe know one thing for sure. If there is a 6th season, Beth and Rip will be the ones leading it. This was all but confirmed with Season 5's episode, All You Need Is Desire, which set up the couple as the new faces of the series after John Dutton III's death. Despite news that the parent series is ending, fans rejoiced that all was not lost for the Dutton family, something Sheridan would never let happen. Another reason fans are hopeful for a 6th season is that 1923 is still set to have its 2nd season released soon. Sheridan has a habit of linking storylines across various spin-offs, and the only way this could continue is if Yellowstone doesn't truly end. Historically, every series in Sheridan's arsenal is interconnected in some way, and Yellowstone ties everything together perfectly. That being said, will that continue to be the case now that Paramount has officially ended the parent series? We'll have to wait and see. Back to how Beth and Rip could lead the new season. Sheridan was strategic when he ended Season 5. He made sure the ending was left open-ended, allowing for a 6th season if needed. This was evident by the fact that, despite the ranch being returned to the native tribe, Beth and Rip ventured into the sunset with a handful of cattle and some ranch hands in tow. Sheridan quietly set up a potential 6th season, hoping audiences would catch on and appreciate the setup. The series creator faced a big challenge leading up to the proposed finale, making sure Kevin Costner's exit was explained in a way that wouldn't leave fans disappointed. Though many fans were left wanting more, Sheridan did try to give closure. Central to the long-brewing war between Beth and Jamie, which reached new heights following John's death, officially ruled as self-inflicted. Beth suspected her adopted brother's involvement. Jamie, now fully embracing his villainous side, was heavily influenced by Sarah's manipulations. Amidst this chaos, Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 9, titled All You Need Is Desire, subtly set the stage for the show's future, potentially paving the way for Season 6. Despite claims that the series is ending, reports suggest Yellowstone could continue beyond its apparent conclusion. Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser would step into lead roles for a sixth season, although no official confirmation has been provided. Additionally, there were rumors of a sequel featuring Beth, Rip, and Luke Grimes's character, Case Dutton. These developments make sense, especially as Wes Bentley's Jamie was increasingly positioned as the antagonist. Wrapping up the main series with Jamie's defeat alongside John's death provided a fitting conclusion. In All You Need Is Desire, Rip was away on a business trip to Texas when news of John's death broke, leaving Beth to process the tragedy alone. Though Case offered support, Yellowstone hadn't fully developed the sibling bond between them, leaving Beth to turn to Rip for comfort. Rip, understanding her need, cut his trip short to return home. The emotional reunion between Beth and Rip underscored their profound love, one of the show's strongest elements. Typically stoic and strong-willed, Beth collapsed in Rip's arms, revealing a rare vulnerability that highlighted the depth of their relationship. Moving forward without Costner will be challenging, but the show has laid a strong foundation for Beth and Rip to lead. They share a deep loyalty to John and the ranch, ensuring its preservation. Their complementary strengths, Rip managing daily ranch operations and Beth overseeing business aspects, position them as natural successors. Even though the series might have ended, John Dutton continues to live on in the Sheridan verse. Taylor Sheridan might not let Kevin Costner back on set anytime soon, but there's one thing he'll forever be thankful to the Hollywood actor for: bringing John Dutton to life. It was a joint effort that succeeded because Costner was the perfect lead for Sheridan's storyline. The actor gave life to John Dutton, and the character lives on in Sheridan's universe long after his death in the parent series. In the most recent development, Sheridan drew inspiration from Yellowstone for his latest show, Landman. Billy Bob Thornton's character, Tommy Norris, in Landman, offers a shift from Sheridan's usual focus on powerful protagonists, potentially adding a refreshing new dynamic to his storytelling. An interesting new dynamic is brought to the show. Like Yellowstone, Landman seems to focus on its main character juggling a huge variety of problems at the same time, which should make it suspenseful and entertaining. Still, Thornton's character in the new show is believed by many to have drawn inspiration from John Dutton. Fans found themselves rooting for John Dutton too, despite the fact that he might not have been the best role model for a television series. While we still don't know if a sixth season of Yellowstone is happening, we do know that Sheridan has a long list of spin-offs planned that could keep audiences busy until then. One of those spin-offs is Landman, which is being positioned as a much sought-after replacement for Yellowstone. Yellowstone Season 5. Part 2 became the final chapter of Sheridan's most popular TV show, and many have wondered if he can replicate its popularity again. Replacing Yellowstone was never going to be easy, especially considering Sheridan drew inspiration from the parent series for almost every one of his spin-offs. Even series like Tulsa King and now The Madison, which don't have direct ties to the Dutton family or their Montana ranch. What makes Landman particularly similar to Yellowstone, despite the varied settings and premises of Sheridan's projects, is that his protagonists tend to share a common set of traits. They often adhere to ambiguous moral codes, yet they are consistently hard-working, intelligent, determined, and deeply loyal. These qualities frequently propel Sheridan's characters into positions of power and influence. For example, the Dutton family from Yellowstone owns the largest ranch in Montana. Dwight Manfredi from Tulsa King is a crime boss. Joe from Special Ops. Lioness leads a top-tier CIA program. Sheridan's ability to create powerful, driven characters has made him an invaluable asset for Paramount, with his projects contributing significantly to the network's success. Films like Wind River center on a junior FBI agent and a fish and wildlife officer, while Hell or High Water follows the Howard brothers, who are burdened by crushing debt before resorting to bank robbery. These characters may not fit Sheridan's archetype of affluent or authoritative leads, but they still embody the core values of resilience, intelligence, and determination. Similarly, Tommy Norris, the lead character in Sheridan's upcoming series Landman, seems to align with these traits. While Norris may not be exactly like John Dutton, he is portrayed as hardworking, capable, and effective. Three traits John was also known for. The premise of Landman also bears notable similarities to Yellowstone, particularly in its focus on the challenges of protecting a large, high-stakes enterprise. In Yellowstone, John Dutton faces external threats from adversaries like Thomas Rainwater and the Beck brothers, alongside internal conflicts such as those with his son, Jamie. Likewise, Tommy Norris in Landman is expected to confront a similar array of problems, including legal battles, environmental opposition, and internal struggles within his company. The parallels between the two shows suggest that Landman will deliver the same high-stakes drama that made Yellowstone so successful. Each issue alone could threaten the survival of their dynasties, but the overlapping nature of their challenges raises the stakes and keeps audiences captivated. Landman appears poised to replicate this formula, placing Tommy Norris in similarly overwhelming situations. This narrative approach, where multiple crises unfold at once, promises to create suspenseful and emotionally charged television. With Billy Bob Thornton portraying Tommy Norris, Landman has the potential to explore the same themes of resilience and survival that have defined Sheridan's best work. By drawing on the tension-filled storytelling that made Yellowstone a cultural phenomenon, Landman could very well become another hit for Sheridan. What to watch after Yellowstone? While Season 6 isn't confirmed just yet, with Sheridan and Paramount remaining hush-hush about the project, there are still several neo-westerns to enjoy in the meantime. For example, why not watch the film series that Kevin Costner left Yellowstone to work on while you wait? That's right. One of the reasons the actor left the set of Yellowstone was because he had another project lined up. Horizon. A little about Horizon. It's been Kevin Costner's passion project for several years. Decades, if we're counting. The Hollywood actor had reportedly been toying with the idea of producing and starring in a Western since the late 1990s. Over the course of several years, he developed the script, moving from one director to the next, before eventually deciding that this was a one-man project. Horizon had been one of Costner's favorite projects, being a neo-Western after all. But did the project pan out as well as he had hoped? For Yellowstone fans who miss seeing